Welcome to Life in Business, the podcast for business owners who want the confidence to grow without having to hustle 24/7. I'm Libby Langley, your host, award-winning no BS business coach and Amazon best-selling author. Join me each week to learn simple and practical strategies for growing your business, growing your profits, growing your confidence, and for having fun in business too. Here's this week's episode. Hello, welcome to another episode of Life in Business. I'm Libby Langley, your host. Very nice to have you here again. And in this episode, I am going to give you the simple, one-stop, guaranteed, foolproof way to get more clients without hustling. Okay, not all of that is true, right? Of course it's not, because your situation is different to my situation. You're unique, I'm unique. And that is why you can't download anyone's proven foolproof process for anything, right? Everything comes with a healthy dose of adaptability, right? I just want to say that. But I'm not going to guarantee you anything, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through what kind of might be going on for you now and ways you can change it. But as with everything I do and everything that I talk about, the answer is never to just work more, work harder, right? It's never ever the case. You know, I'm never going to tell you to just put in more effort. I mean, if you're doing naff all, right, and just sit around watching Netflix all day, then maybe I'll kindly, lovingly say, okay, perhaps do some work. Perhaps just get off your backside and do something. But making the assumption that you already have a business, you already have clients, you already, you're already transforming people's lives and making some money. But yeah, there's some things that aren't quite where you want them to be yet. That might be that you're not making as much money as you would like. That might be that the clients aren't quite the right fit. And that might be all of the above. But I pretty much guess that you're working too hard already for what you see at the end of the month. And you would like more clients because you would like more money, but you ain't got the capacity for it, right? Mental, physical, calendar wise. So I've been there. Absolutely understand that situation. Believe you me, I've been there, right? And getting more clients, growing your business doesn't just mean doubling down. It doesn't. Sometimes these things on Instagram, particularly with people, I really want to buy this handbag, must work harder. And it's like, no, I don't feel that's not workaholicism. Isn't something that I covet at all. Been there, done that, right? Not good, not healthy. There's no point in having your own business if you're going to work all the hours God sends. The point of having your business is that you have more time freedom and you have more financial freedom. And that means being smarter and working differently than how you would. If you oh God, back to the days when I worked in telemarketing, 20 plus years ago, I don't know. More than that maybe. And 25. I forget how old I am sometimes. I don't know about you, but yeah, over 25 years ago. And to earn more commission, you just made more calls. And it's like absolutely sucked and I hated it. And I was awful at it because that bang, 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 bang is just not how I like to do things. I like to get to know people. I like to take time. So anyway, I digress. But we're not gonna tell you to ramp up the amount of calls that you make just for numbers, just a numbers game. Business is a bit of a numbers game in that there will, never 100% of people will never say yes, right? Whatever you're doing and however good you are and however successful you are in your business or well regarded or anything like that, 100% of people will never say yes, right? But the more people you have contact with, the more likely it is that you will get more clients. But, there are so many caveats to that. I'm kind of going to talk you through them all, really, because it isn't just doubling down, for sure, right? My experience over the years, bearing in mind I've been in business not much short of 13 years, so I've got a lot of experience. Things I would do again and things absolutely no, oh, I can see where I was going wrong there. But certainly when, over the years, I've kind of led with fear, I guess. I've led with lack and I've led with fear. Because I've wanted more clients, because I've wanted more money or needed more money, right? There have been hugely successful periods in my business and there have been less successful periods in my business. And I'm going to come back to this, it's all been because of how I am feeling, right? That's really, really important. So I'll come back to that bit. So when kind of that leading with fear and lack is the thing that really, I don't know, people can smell it, right? People can smell it and people can tell. And it's like you're chucking stuff out and you do this offer and you do that offer, or you try and teach people about something that you've kind of not worked through yourself properly yet. And you only, not to say you need to be an expert or a million miles ahead of people, you could be 2 steps ahead of people and still support them. But if you're supporting people with something emotional, which for me, absolutely running a business is an emotional thing, right? It's as much about how you feel and your mindset as it is about the tactics and strategy. Absolutely. And that's something I've learned over the years. And that's what for the last 2, 3, 4 years, I've been focusing on with my clients. It's not just about the do this, then do that, and do the other. It's like, yeah, but how do you feel about it all? What do you want to do? And so I, in times where it's been, I've kind of lost my way, I suppose, personally. And so therefore work has shifted and the lead generation, for want of a less marketing expression, has taken a slightly different turn. The answer kind of is always invent something new or put out an offer, right? And just keep putting out offers. And, I remember things, we went away for my birthday. Well, we go away for my birthday every year, but we went away for my birthday and I did a birthday offer. I don't know what year it was. Not that long ago, 4 years ago, probably. Birthday offer. And so pre-recorded all these videos and put them out. And it was a discount on a program that I ran at the time. And I was away. We were going away. So it's like, it was all really ridiculous timing, to try and kind of do a launch and do something while I wasn't there doesn't make any sense. But it was like, I'll do this while we're away and then I won't be thinking about it. But it was just trying to shoehorn something together, I've got a birthday. That means more people are going to buy from me. No, I mean, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. People wish you a happy birthday, right? But ultimately they don't care if they're not ready to buy and you're not giving them the message of why this stuff really matters. And, do you know what? Today might be a good day. Then nothing is going to land, right? Just because you put an offer out there doesn't mean people are going to buy. Not necessarily, unless they're already loyal followers and possibly have bought from you before, or they've been nurtured in your world somehow, right? So I've made that mistake, and not even kind of that many years ago. But the offer and the birthday thing in itself is not a mistake, right? Need to be really clear on that. It's maybe if I offer a discount and tie it up as a birthday gift, people will buy from me. That's not the right way to lead, right? That just isn't the right way to lead, because leading with, I hope people buy from me, or I need to generate some income, that's coming from a place of lack and fear. And yeah, like I say, people can smell it, right? It doesn't land well, because it's just, please buy from me, please buy from me. And it's like, well, why? Why? Think of people in the street, the kind of the people who do try and get you to sign up for charity stuff, right? I mean, everybody should give money to charity. It goes without saying. But if you're walking from one shop to another up the high street and someone's trying to stop you to give money to support children or animals or older people or whatever it is, right? Then you're not in the place to go, yes, this really matters to me. Yes, I want to do this. And you might absolutely agree with everything that they're saying. And you might actually even support the charity that they're talking about. But because it's like being thrown at you, like a game of British Bulldog when you're at school, and you're just running from one place to another and someone's rolling a ball at your legs, it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. So by just putting out an offer or just doing more or just thinking, if I post 10 times on LinkedIn or, 4 posts every day or something like that on LinkedIn, more people will see the content, more people will buy from me. It's like, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yes, the potential is that more people will see your content the more you post. However, if your content is not coming from the right place and it's just like, oh, I've got this offer, you need to buy it. It's like, why? Why should I? I don't know who you are. This is a bit weird. No, thank you. And yeah, it doesn't work. And that just leads into this whole big cycle of not feeling good enough, feeling utterly overwhelmed with everything that you're doing, with just not having enough clients and wondering why you're doing it anyway and questioning whether you're good enough to run your business, and imposter syndrome and and on it goes, right? And it's because you're not leading with the right thing, right? So in order to get more clients, the answer is not to do more. The answer is not to do more. The answer is to step back. And, it's a difficult balance, right? A client said to me recently, I would love to be able to take 3 months off and do all the kind of work on myself, but I need to generate an income. And of course, the world keeps turning and your mortgage still needs paying, right? But it's about continuing what you're doing and servicing the clients that you've got and the new clients that come to you, but also doing the work on yourself so that the marketing that you're doing becomes much more aligned to where you want your business to be, right? That's absolutely the key. And you have to sometimes wear all those hats at once. In business, we do, right? We're wearing 10 hats all the time. And so this is just one of those scenarios. And I would love to say to you, be very eat, pray, love, and go off and find yourself and then come back and it's all going to be amazing. And all of that is true. But it ain't how life works. And I like to be realistic about stuff. And I like to tell you and talk to my clients about, yes, this is the amazing ideal, but what can we actually do, right? What do we need coming in? And what time have we got to balance stuff? And that's kind of the practical reality of it all, right? So by stepping it back a little bit, let's say part of you, we split you in two, and part of you steps back, right? And part of you keeps servicing the clients and bringing the clients in. What you can do is work very much on how you feel about stuff and how you feel about every aspect of your life and your business. And this is such an important exercise because without having that self-awareness, you're just going to keep blindly mowing forwards and then just get increasingly frustrated and end up breaking it all, right? Hello, speak from experience there. So, it's really tough if you're building what you think you should, rather than actually what you want to. And I know that for the first even 10 years, in all honesty, in my business, I was building what I could rather than what I wanted to. And doesn't mean I haven't worked with some incredible people, because I've worked with over 6,500 people. There've been some pretty sweet people in that. But it's about the way the business is set up. It's not so much about the clients for me, right, at all, that hasn't been aligned. It's the way I've delivered support or the transformation to my clients and how I've presented myself. So that's always been the disconnect for me, which is the thing that I have nailed now, right? Over the last 3-4 years, been doing an awful lot of work on myself, and have kind of come through the other side of it, I guess. And when I launched my Confidence to Grow program in May, I think, 2024, it was the worst launch anyone's ever done. As in, I sent out a couple of emails, but it was pretty much like just PSs on my normal emails to people. And spoke to a few people who came on my mastermind days. And honestly, that was it, right? But which is not how I would necessarily advise anyone do a proper launch, but because I had done all this work on myself and I knew without any shadow of any doubt that Confidence to Grow is the thing, right? It's the culmination of every conversation I've ever had with the over 6,500 business owners and my own lived experience and my own business ownership experience and how I've worked with clients. I became aware of what I actually helped clients with and have packaged it up into something that's superb and that really gets results for people because it makes them think about themselves. And this is exactly the point of it. It's not about the strategies or the tactics. There's some of that, sure, right? But you can't do that stuff until you understand yourself. And I guess I'm kind of surprised at how, what's the word? Because it's not woo, right? It's not woo, but how emotional I've become in my old age and in my experience. Because, I talk a lot about how do you feel with my clients. I talk a lot about how do you feel about that? How does that make you feel? What do you really want? The self-reflection stuff, rather than when I first started out, it was like, right, here is your exact process for using LinkedIn to market your business, yourself and your business, and using Facebook to, very practical stuff. So it's interesting as a self-reflection in itself. It's interesting how I've kind of changed and developed over the years. And you might have been in my world for a long, long time, right since the beginning. Or you might be newer. Either way, hi. And that kind of that journey of myself is quite interesting. I'm my own best project always, right? And I share this stuff freely and openly with you because it helps. And the reason that I talk about this kind of stuff and why it matters so much is because I don't want you to go through a decade or so of trying to see what fits, right? And thinking that the issue is that your marketing isn't good enough or that your program isn't good enough and spending ages tweaking about stuff behind the scenes. And actually, it's not. It's that you're not clear enough on who you are to yourself, let alone to anyone else, of who you are, what you want to achieve, who you want to work with, and what really matters to you. And that's the stuff that's going to get you new clients, right? Talking about how you feel, not in an overshare way, but why this matters to me and why I want to help you with something. And that's exactly my story, right? I just want people to be able to see the light that I've seen and do business in a better way and an easier way. And this, honestly, is how you get more clients without working harder. It's to be introspective, first and foremost, to look at yourself and to see how you feel about things. And rather than just going on I'm going to create 30 Canva posts and share them out, it's like, yeah, but what are they saying and what's the message, and do the graphics really matter that much as the effort that you're putting in? It's about focusing on what it is that you want. And so by kind of making that transformation, you stop being desperate and chucking out offers, right? And also, another caveat, I'm not sure how many they've been in here, actually. If you're keen keeping count, let me know. But it's this, and I've totally lost my train of thought now by going off on a tangent there. But this being kind of, if you're desperate and it comes across as desperate, and people can pick up on that. But when you're confident, not cocky, right, but confident then that comes, there's a trust, there's a kind of about that, a calmness about that. And that's what people pick up on. It's hard to kind of identify, but you know when you're there, right? You know when you've made that shift from one thing to another. So it's about how you feel, right? And the way to get more clients without working harder or doing more, right, is to do less. Is to do less, but to do it consciously and thoughtfully. And this won't, you're not going to become an overnight success, right? With anything that happens, it just doesn't happen like that. Unfortunately, sorry to break that to you. It doesn't happen like that in business for 99% of people. It just doesn't. It's about having a business that's sustainably and joyfully growing for the future, into the future, now and for the future. That's what really matters. About being in a place where you know that everything you're doing feels great, right? It feels aligned, it feels purposeful. You know why you're doing it, and you know that not today, but maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, or maybe in a year's time, it is going to be an absolutely vital part of your business's continuity and growth. That's kind of the place I want to get you to, right? And that's where I get my clients to, yeah? And everybody's journey is slightly different, which is why I opened by saying about download the absolutely foolproof, just follow this and you'll be a millionaire kind of guide. Doesn't work like that. It can't possibly work like that. So that I like working as kind of in depth with people as I can, even though I run a group program. It's very, very personalized. There's lots of individual conversations and individual support because that's how the magic happens. That's how I can really help people, right? So how do you get more clients without working harder or doing more? You need to know yourself. You need to know yourself and know what works for you and what doesn't, right down to kind of when you do and don't want to work, yeah? I don't have any calls on Mondays or Fridays because I don't want to. And it's sort of as simple as that. Mondays is the day when I work on my business. And Fridays is the day when I may not work, right? I might do something, but, there's no pressure on me on a Friday. And so knowing that, even knowing that, right, makes a difference. It's about you making conscious decisions and putting conscious structure into your business. And little tweaks like that can, in themselves, just make a huge difference. And knowing yourself that, when you're best, I'm best in the morning, I'm rubbish in the afternoon. Really, I mean, not rubbish. Obviously, I'm still brilliant all the time, but actually, after 3:00, no, rubbish. So I structure everything like that, and I make sure that I go out for walks because it helps breed my creativity. I go to tons of business events because it helps with my creativity and sparks something in me. And because I've worked with so many people over so many years, there's a lot of stuff in my head, but sometimes I need to hear someone just say a sentence and I'm like, yes, that's what I need to talk about, or that's what I want to talk about, that's what I want to share. And I can just kind of reframe stuff. So knowing what you like and what you don't like and who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with, there's a lot of honesty that needs to happen here, right? Because I've worked with clients in the past who I don't want to work with, and I've done it for the money. And that's really sucks. And we all do have to do that sometimes. There's no, you've got to earn the money. But if you know that those people are not your ideal clients, but you're choosing to deliver that project with them or, have them as a client for a limited amount of time, fine. You're making the conscious choice and you know the reason for it, but you don't market to them, right? That's the thing. You're not marketing to them and you're not starting conversations with them. And if you build a business that you love by doing all those things, it's going to just be a lot easier for you to get clients because people will smell the joy, right? Will pick up on it, the confidence that you have in yourself. You can also choose to work with within a niche that you love, and with specific kinds of people that you love on a very small area of your overall business that you love. You can scrap anything that doesn't fill your heart with joy. And what happens if you do all that? Then the conversations that you have, and by conversations, I mean the content that you share online, as well as emails, as well as, all these kind of the contact points, then it's going to just come much more from your heart. And that will enable people to know your area of expertise and what you're knowledgeable in and what you're passionate about, and also what you don't like. I'm always telling people what I don't like. I don't like working with corporates. I don't like working on Fridays. I don't like working with big teams. There's loads of stuff. I don't like working with people who expect results overnight, but aren't actually prepared to make any changes. There's loads of stuff I don't like doing. And I'll happily talk about that because it helps people exclude themselves, right? And also builds up this picture of who I am and what I'm about. But I know all that, right? Because I know myself. And so I know all that. And I'm not perfect, right? In any way, shape or form. But I know I'm fine with that. I'm fine with who I am and what I stand for and everything. And this kind of confidence, right? And knowledge and expertise and confidence in yourself, it breeds trust. And when you breed trust, rather than putting out the fear and lack, buy something, then that's when it just happens. And that is how you get clients without working harder. You get more clients that way without working harder. And it means that you will be happier too. You'll be working fewer hours. You'll be earning more money. And you will say, oh my God, I'm so glad I listened to episode 91 of Libby's podcast, Life in Business. I need to tell everybody about this because the woman knows her stuff. There you are. And that's how it happens. So thank you for joining me today. Send me a message on Instagram at Libby Langley or LinkedIn, search for Libby Langley, and tell me what this episode is meant for you. And I will see you next week with some more juicy goodies. Bye. Thank you for listening to Life in Business. Please make sure that you subscribe or follow so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you enjoyed today's show, please leave a review, as it helps others to find the podcast and spread the word that there's an easier way to do business. If you want to chat with me about today's episode or suggest a topic for the future, I would love to hear from you. You can find me on Instagram at Libby Langley. See you next week.